Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another BDE podcast. My name is Stephen Hawley, and I'm here in the studio with my main man. He did it like this, he did it like that, he did it with a wiffle ball bat. Shelton Walker. Shelton, my friend.
What is going on, baby?
How are you today?
I'm awful.
We're hurting. We're hurting, baby.
Goodness, we have to stop doing this. I'm getting too old for this nonsense.
It's post-fight night. I can't hate us for it.
I'm so upset about fight night too, by the way.
We should talk about it at some point.
I figured we would.
We might come up.
I figured we'd dabble into it. We got a jam-packed show. We got fight night. We've got another LDE moment.
LDE,
which
B.D.E,
is exciting.
Always.
We've got a phenomenal B.D.E moment.
A great one.
And then we're gonna do a little basketball talk.
Yeah, just a little bit
to wrap it up. But
it's finals. It's finals time.
There's
no reason to skip over that. And we've got one player that is just showing out.
There's a couple players, but yes, I think there's one that is carrying
one that is certainly like the Jan Sport of the team. That was
a great reference.
He's backpacking everybody.
I picked up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
I like that. That was good. But first thing first is a depressing conversation for me, and that is fight night. He lost, Hawley.
He did.
And by he, I mean Conor.
Yeah, well, I think we all know where your heart was in that fight.
Oh my gosh, man, what happened?
Well, a broken ankle.
Oh, okay, yeah, I forgot.
I can tell you what happened.
So I was talking with a buddy, and this is obviously the trilogy, and he goes, "Does it ever go past a trilogy?" I was like, "No, why would it go past a trilogy?"
Is it a quilogy?
Yeah, like after you win, you won the tiebreaker. Like there's no need for another one.
Yeah, if I was Poirier, I wouldn't fight again. Not him anymore.
So, but here's my thing.
Maybe
I think
in that scenario,
I think there might be a fourth one with this
because they didn't fight. I mean, well, I guess they did, but they didn't even get through the first round. So it wasn't like they did all that work, they put all that time in
to lose to a freak injury.
Right. Unless you're Poirier and you're like, well, I just snapped his ankle.
Yeah, because so there's a part where he in his interview he goes, "Hey, when you kicked me, it cracked."
And Conor said no, it didn't.
No, it didn't. And at the moment, I was like, no, he just fell on it wrong. But looking back at it and watching it play back,
yeah, and we talked about this. I think you've got some reaction videos that I think you're going to put up, and a lot of the folks said the same thing. Well, it snapped when he stepped back. And I go, no, there's no way that happens. Like, that thing was already
on its last leg. Pun intended.
Literally.
Yeah, because McGregor's not a ground fighter either.
Yeah.
And so he kicks him twice, gets hit kind of hard, and then goes into grapple mode and gets him in a guillotine, which is, again, not like Conor at all. I was kind of like, and you can see in the video in the reaction, I'm like, what's happening? Is he about to choke him out? Because nobody
everybody
that.
thought it. He got him in that twice.
Yeah, he was locked.
Was close.
Yeah, and Poirier's a black belt, so he's good at he's prepared for that stuff. But that's also exhausting. So if he didn't break his ankle, I think he was going to lose either way. I don't know. I'd hate to say it, but it didn't. The way the last round was going.
Well, the last and first.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Well, the last half of the first round,
but
he was getting the shit beat out of him.
Well, he was, but in the first half of the first round, he was owning that fight because he's a stand-up fighter.
Yeah,
and he was kicking Poirier's ass.
He was throwing kicks. He was getting high kicks, shots, hard high kicks.
Yes,
popping them.
Yeah, and he caught him with those shoulders that he loves to throw.
Yeah, he threw it when he clinched in. So he did well when he went to the ground. He's awful on the ground.
But that's the thing. So look, I mean, we saw two halves of one round.
Yeah.
And the first half was clearly McGregor stand-up fighting, winning. And the second half was Poirier
dominating the ground.
But we don't know. Look, we can look back on it and say we know when Conor broke his ankle.
Yeah.
But we don't know when he really broke his ankle.
So we were talking about this precast, and when it looked like he was holding him in the guillotine, it almost like the adrenaline kind of left his body for a minute because he didn't cinch the guillotine like I thought he would. And it was almost like he kind of was like, shit, something hurts. And he was kind of just like in relax mode. Like, I don't know if this is real.
You're finally off your feet. You know what I mean? Like, you're not using your feet anymore at that point. I mean, you're using your legs in a guillotine. I mean,
but you kind of you can feel it now, right? Because you're not, there's no pressure kind of.
You're on your back. I mean, you've got somebody in a relatively, and to Poirier, like to your point, to Poirier's experience, he knows how to get out of those moves. But if you can get somebody locked up in a guillotine, it is physically difficult to get out of that, especially if you're a fighter like Conor.
He made it look very easy, which was kind of again
like two times he just popped. I mean, he had it.
The second time wasn't as strong, but the first time, I thought
he had it.
I was like, he's done. This game, this wrap. You could see my we'll post the reactions. I was like, I thought you were quiet. I was like, it's over.
I don't know. I'm gonna lose.
This is our scoreboard. We have going.
Scoreboard. We'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about that now.
Well, we can segue and we'll come back.
We'll come back to it.
So I'm up 2-0. But let me finish. Okay. You lost the Olympic talk because you in the last one you said if she doesn't get picked for the 4x1 relay,
I'll take that L.
You'll take the L. So that hands me over 2-0. Yes. However, you predicted the Mayweather and Logan Paul fight.
Yes, which you didn't want to give me the point because we weren't keeping.
score.
But then all of a sudden we start keeping score when you win it, and then
so we added a point for Hawley, so now it's 2-1.
Okay,
and we had a 5-card fight last night, which, by the way, was the worst card I've ever watched in my entire life. Regardless of the fact that McGregor lost, like that doesn't sway my prediction on losing.
Right.
I don't know if it was just the people. I don't know what it was. The Sean O'Malley fight was pretty good. It was actually pretty entertaining. I can't hate on that.
For a minute, and look, they were fighting. Like those guys.
Yeah,
were going
that guy.
at
The guy Sean fought was a last minute plug in, and he did pretty damn well.
Yeah, I wasn't hating that.
We predicted the fight, so I picked Sean. You went with the Joker just because.
Yeah, just because we have to.
And the other fights we didn't really have much background on. So you picked. I picked the Russian girl.
Yep.
She got her butt spanked.
Yep. And then
I picked Greg Hardy, the football player, the wannabe UFC fighter.
Yes.
Who got literally dropped.
Which I couldn't be happier.
Yeah,
about.
I was happy with that.
So happy
he's a
about
woman
that.
beater, so I was cool with it.
No, he's garbage.
And then the other fight was the Brazilian fight and the American guy.
The American guy was seated higher.
That went all 3 rounds.
It did.
It was just a boring fight because the Brazilian guy just basically tackled him.
Well, he was just, I think, a more diverse fighter. The American guy just didn't seem to ever have like any attack.
He didn't have a good ground game, and as soon as he got on the ground, it was kind of just
that's Brazilian jiu-jitsu all day.
He literally just got him and just kind of just held him there and just kind of beat his head up.
Yeah, I want to say that's the Royce Gracie Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Like that's a staple of their fighting style.
So that was a boring fight, obviously, and then the McGregor fight ended.
Nobody ever watched a Royce Gracie fight and said, "Wow, this was super exciting."
Yeah, I mean he wins, so you can hate him. He wins,
right?
But it's not exciting to watch. So that happened, and then McGregor obviously broke his foot, and it kind of just deflated it. It wasn't like a knockout, right? Like it was just like you saw it happen. It was gruesome. My God.
Look, and
you just see when he steps back, goes.
And you guys love you. I know you're a huge UFC fan, and you've talked about some of these times where like breaking the leg, and it's just
snapping arms.
I can't watch that.
So
like, I can see it once, and then I'm like a Willis McGahee moment where like the whole like bottom half of your leg becomes detached live in motion, and you're like, oh wow, like Mackenzie Milton, the kid who just now transferred to FSU, who was the UCF quarterback.
Okay.
It was during the I-4 fist fight or whatever they call the little rivalry between USF and UCF.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And his leg bent backwards.
Okay.
And I was watching that when it happened, and I literally had a beer in my hand, about to take a drink, and I almost like spit into the beer and it ruined my beer, but I would never do that. So I would never ruin my beer. But that being said, I mean, I just I can see those things one time.
Yeah.
And then after that, like I'm not watching the replays. No.
Yeah, I don't mind watching it. I don't like it to happen.
Right.
In any event, even if it's like 2 weekends ago, we were watching a guy got him in an arm bar, and this guy was like a spider and like twisted all around and got his arm, and he broke it at the elbow, and was trying to like put him down, and his elbow was just flopping up and down, bro. Like it was gone. And he couldn't tap, and the guy was like, his arm is broken.
He can't.
And the ref wasn't calling it because the guy was like in a weird position. Tap. He couldn't tap, and you could see him kind of doing it, but like you can't tell if he's just like flinging it. And literally, he just kept twisting it because he's like he's done. He was looking at the ref. He goes, he's done, dude. He's done. He goes, wasn't doing anything. He goes, all right, just kept going, bro. The fight was over. The guy's arms like this.
And the adrenaline is gone at that point. Like, what do you do in that scenario? Like, do you whisper to the person on top of you, like, "Please stop, my God, please."
It was gruesome.
I have a family.
It was gruesome. So going back to the scoreboard, you are now up 3-2.
3-2.
3-2.
Did we reset, or are we just going to build?
No,
off
we're only tied, I think.
You were up 1.
I was up 1, so we're tied.
And then yeah.
So we're just tied 2-2.
Okay.
You just picked up a point.
Yeah, we'll just call it a draw. So we're 2-2.
2-2. Because you picked Poirier.
Yeah, and then I think what we should do.
Freaking loser.
Yeah, gosh. He's amazing hot sauce, however, in case anybody's curious. We can, yeah. He's from Louisiana. Oh. Yeah, so Conor McGregor plugs whiskey and Poirier.
Which we enjoyed that.
We enjoyed that a little bit, maybe too much
delicious.
last night. It's amazing. But yeah, so it's 3-2.
2-2.
2-2. So we'll go with that. And then I think what we'll do moving forward is we'll start picking a sporting event. Doesn't matter. Like, look, right now it's a little bit of a slow time, but we can go with golf. We can go with a baseball game. We can go with like their Sunday night game.
We'll have Sunday
college football.
We'll have like
NFL.
5 pick'ems.
Yeah,
I'm all in.
And then whoever gets the best of the 5 gets the point. Or
okay.
whatever.
Okay.
So
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll put it on the cast, and then we'll allow our BDE family out there that loves to critique us post-cast.
tell us what they think.
Tell us what they think, and then maybe we'll even get us a little like a statistician.
Yes,
somebody who can
keep
track
us in check, keep us always accountable. Yes. But back to the fight, because I'm pretty upset about it. You
were upset last night. I was a little pumped. And I was a little vocal, and then I had to come back and give you a little love.
Yeah, you were very respectable. You're a gracious winner, I should say.
I wouldn't say that. I was angry. I was angry that I won. I was an angry winner.
You were aggressive, but at least you calmed down enough to say, "Hey, man, like, love you. I'll see you tomorrow."
Which was literally like 5 hours ago. It feels like.
Yeah,
for real. It's an hour drive.
Not sure why you even left. We could have just shot it right then and there.
Right then and there.
But so. You said something last night. He's a bad loser. I feel like that was the first time that he was a bad loser was last night. McGregor. It was so, and I think the reason why is because I don't think he lost either. Is where the frustration comes in. He's like, I didn't lose that fight. I mean, he lost.
In his mind, I had a physical breakdown.
Yeah.
But I didn't lose the fight against the guy.
So this leads to the next part of kind of my history with UFC. So back like 5 years ago, Ronda Rousey, McGregor, right? These two were the kind of the come-ups. They were the poster child for the sport.
Right.
Again, how I would watch Ronda was how I would watch Conor. I would pull up to BD or Buffalo Wild Wings and watch it through the window.
BDE Wild Wings.
Yeah.
There should be that. There should be a BDE
We'll be there soon.
Somebody write this down.
And I remember when she fought Hawley Holman, literally got her shit knocked out.
Yeah.
I mean, her jaw was broken, all those things. And I remember watching, like, there's no way she comes back from this. Well, a year later, she has her comeback tour, and we're all excited. We're like, yeah, let's go. And then she loses and literally falls off the map. This is that same feeling that I got last night. Like, it's over.
And you and I talked about this a little bit going into the cast. We talked before the fight that this was Conor's twilight of his career. And look, I hadn't done enough research going into this fight to know that Poirier and Conor,
the same age.
They're the same age.
Yeah.
It's just about the wear and tear, I think, is really where things are.
Conor fought a lot of beast.
A lot.
He fought Khabib. He fought Nate Diaz twice, which we're waiting on a trilogy. So I think if he does come back, because Diaz just came off a great loss, which is weird to say, and he just came off a weird loss. Look, if there's a way for him to get back in the ring,
I'll say this: the UFC is going to need another marketable fighter, and look, they can produce them sometimes. Like a Nate Diaz is a marketable guy. Ronda Rousey was Ronda Rousey was a marketable person.
Yes.
Conor is a marketable person because he does it himself.
Sugar O'Malley is becoming that.
He's becoming that, but the UFC is going to need, I think, somebody to step up.
Mazdov was kind of filling that hole. Usman, he does a great job. Michael Chandler, he was supposed to be that guy, but then lost to Charles Oliveira. I don't think Oliveira is a great.
Which is who?
He's a light heavyweight champion. Yeah,
isn't that who Poirier goes
against? Yes, and I think Poirier would be great. I mean, it sucks. Like, I don't mind Poirier winning because he's a good dude. Like he kind of talked a little shit which he was kind of pissed off. He's like, "Well, you made it personal. You came after my wife."
He did, and which was another reason why I'm like, I'm just not a Conor guy. I don't like Conor.
I love that at the end of it, he goes, "Your wife from still in my DMs."
It's just, man,
bro, you're on the ground with a broken foot, and he goes, "Your wife still slid in my DMs."
That's all right. As his wife is walking up there to celebrate a win with him, that's what I'm saying. Like Conor, like he's just too much of a hype machine. Too much of a hype machine. And let's not forget the fact that he was in a Irish pub and cold cocked a 70-year-old that had his back turned.
Talking shit.
I don't care. He's a fighter. The guy is a professional fighter. Yeah. This old dude is probably the only thing he does well is drink. And he
have a good time.
The worst part is for Conor, this guy gets cold cocked. He just like rubber.
For real.
Right back
at drinking. He doesn't even feel it.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't want to take too much more time, but it was depressing. Congratulations on your winnings.
Scoreboard is scoreboard.
I think
I would have loved to have seen a 5-round fight because they were
from the onset. I don't think it would have went 5 rounds. Yeah, McGregor can go that long, but I hope it isn't over. But at the same time, I'm like, I would get it.
Look,
that was a nasty injury.
A Nate Diaz,
but that's also
Conor
a nasty
McGregor,
injury.
It is
when you're old like that. It was a weird spot too. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
It was a little bit above. It wasn't lower ankle, like right between the ankle and the foot. It was a little bit higher than that.
It was like around the weird ball spot. And I'm not a doctor. No, like the little ball, like the little like joint ball you have in your ankles. You know what I'm talking about?
I wasn't sure what you were referring to.
Yeah, that's like kind of where it was. Like, it was weird, bro. Like, it was a weird break.
Yeah.
I don't know how those things are gonna recover. Feet are weird. Foots are weird. Foots are weird. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But let's move along into our BDE moment of the week.
Let's go. This is a great one. This one is awesome. This one's personal for you. This is a local one. I mean, I love that this is going to be our BDE moment this week. And I think we even have a little token.
We have a little story time involved with this. So we got goosebumps when we talked about this earlier.
We did earlier.
I'm getting goosebumps now, even thinking about it. So I grew up in St. Augustine, and my neighbor was the head coach for Flagler Saints, which is where I also went to school.
Yep.
His son, Tyler Barnett, we got Dave Barnett and Tyler Barnett. Dave, the coach, played for the Montreal Expos. This guy is through and through baseball. Okay.
Love it.
My neighbor. I had this little like brown picket fence that separated the two houses, and that would always be our home run fence. I was like 7, 6, 8, right? 3 or 4 years at that whole time, that whole range. Tyler Barnett was like 16, 17, would come over and play baseball with me. Right? Like, how cool is that? Like, somebody who's that old, like, taking the time to teach a young kid how to play ball and to be better.
Sure.
And to take that time. So I always appreciated that. Well, his dad, Dave Barnett, always had a baseball summer camp at the Flagler Stadium, which is really cool. As a kid, you get to go play on the field and be part of it.
Can't be better than that.
It was awesome, right? Well, every year they would give out, at the end of the camp, the week camp, they give out trophies, right? Like best slide, best hit, best pitching, highest velocity, because they would do all these things. Like at the last day of summer camp, they'd have like a big like Olympic event where you would do everything, right? Fastest kid, whatever. But there was the award that everybody wanted, and it was the coach's award. And it was kind of like the overall, all around, like, hey, you earned this.
Sure.
Right? You were great all the time. You were always on time. You stretched. You were at the station you needed to be, ready to rock and roll.
You had to do your laps. You actually did the laps.
Right? You were all in. It's the best award. Right? Like, it was the coolest award, and it was the cheapest award because it was just a baseball signed by all the coaches.
Like
and I'm telling you, I did this thing for years, and that's what I strive for. Every year, I was like, I'm coming back, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm locked in. Because as a kid, it's easy to get distracted, right?
Sure.
So I was like, every year,
blue car,
right? I want to be locked in. Boom. Finally, 2003. I'm 10 years old. I got the first city baseball coaches award.
10 years old in 2003, but that's awesome.
Yeah, the greatest award that I've ever received. It's the only, like we talked about, I still have it because of how much it meant.
Yes.
There, his signed right there, Coach Barnett. Now, this story isn't about me. Okay, this isn't my BDE moment, but I wanted to kind of give you a backstory of who this.
Yes, everybody needed to know
who this young man was. And why we're talking about it.
Exactly.
So recently, I'm friends with his son on Facebook, and he posted. He goes, "My pops has been inducted into a few Hall of Fames. So obviously, there's a couple of them that he's been inducted to already.
Okay.
But none are as big as this one. Dave Barnett is being inducted into the College Baseball Hall of Fame.
Unbelievable.
Incredible. I got goosies again saying it. And he's only 18 wins away from 1,000. And I've seen a couple of those which is pretty cool. I go to the games all the time, so I love them. They're a great time. But again, I went to school there, so this is really cool. Yeah. So from
hits
literally,
home. Is alma mater.
Growing up, watching him,
next door neighbor, like just right there from the beginning. You've been invested with this, and that's awesome.
It's almost like they said, hey, they saw me grow up, but I've seen you become this great statue.
Like literally.
Yeah, literally.
You're gonna have a bust.
You're gonna have a bust, yeah. Which is stupid cool.
Is it Omaha? I believe it's Omaha.
It says Chicago.
Chicago is the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Yeah, that's what it says. He's gonna support his man in Chicago.
Okay.
So I'm assuming, unless they're just doing that there.
Whatever the case may be. Either way, no matter what, you are, at the end of the day, no one will ever say your name without saying
you are
college.
Yeah.
Football.
Hall of Fame.
Baseball.
Hall of Fame, yeah. It's stupid cool. So congrats to Dave Barnett on that, because that's just awesome.
Massive congratulations. And look, local guy. Look, we talk about BDE moments, and they can be all over the world. They can be all over sports. And literally this one, I think, has earned that tag, and it's right here.
Yeah.
Right here in our
which that makes it even cooler. It's even better. It hits home.
Yeah.
So, again, you can't have a BDE without a little LDE. Right.
And this one is surprising to me.
This one, I found this one. I told you about this. I was like, hey, we got to talk about this. This is crazy to me.
Yeah, you showed it to me precast.
Yeah.
And I was a little blown away to the point where I agreed with you. Like, there's no way we don't talk about this.
Yeah, because it's
got to happen.
It's funny. It's kind of funny.
It's kind of funny. But it's got to it's just odd. It's something that we've never heard before.
Yes.
Ever.
Right? Ever.
I've never heard this.
Ever.
And it's not anything that goes along with what we believe.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of can see it, but
we'll talk about it.
Get ahead of ourselves.
Let's go.
Cussing at Coach Meyer to give him the ball or something. Like, yeah. Tebow went that far. Right? You see the passion he has on the field? Yeah. That same passion can get ugly. First, to me, I mean, it's just, he's a snitch.
So was he not kind of liked?
No. Right. Yeah, he wasn't liked. But, on the field, we loved him because, hey, Tebow, let's win, right? Yeah. Off the field, it's like, all right, we know who you are. You know?
First of all, who the fuck is this guy?
I have no idea.
Bro, we were looking this guy up. We almost texted one of our sources, one of our accountability partners,
Ryan, is the best way to do it.
To see if hey, do you know who this guy is?
Right. I look, and I feel like during the Tebow years, I'm a huge college football guy. I was watching Florida as much as I was watching Florida State because they were rivals and you couldn't get away from it. I felt like I had a decent understanding of their roster at that time.
Yeah, no, absolutely, same. So first thing first, the reason we're calling this LDE because it's like, first of all, where the hell is this coming from?
Right. Is this just random, like insignificant person
that you're just trying to get some clout because nobody else has said it? And now you're trying to...
You're doing the one thing that goes against the narrative.
And it's it's a snitch. I mean, you didn't really give me an example. Maybe instead of snitch, you can say a little square, right? A little boring. I'll give you that.
Sure.
I'm cool with that.
I don't think that Tim Tebow would say that he wasn't a square when he was in college. I think he was pretty profound about that. I'm a football player, and then here's who I am off the field.
Yes.
And I think for a lot of football,
he was the same guy on and off. Like it was, hey, I'm passionate, I'm driven, I'm here to win, I'm here to be successful.
Look, he wasn't your average college kid.
No.
He didn't get off the field
and
go act like a college kid.
Yeah, he was light years ahead of them. He's an old man in a young man's body.
Yes, for sure.
We kind of talked about this, right? Like again, it's about being the same person, being indulged in this on and off the field. It's like a method actor, right? You become that character. To be that great and to be that successful. And we even talked about this earlier in the week, like the people that are the CEOs, these owners of basketball teams and football teams.
Unless you're one of the Clippers.
Unless you're the Clippers guy, doesn't count. But they're just a little bit different breed, and you have to be.
You have to be. Yeah, right? You have to live that every single day.
You have to become that, and that's where you get that. Oh, he's a dick, or he's a square, or he's this, and it's because it's just like he's completely locked into a different level.
And let's just take it to another point. And I don't think that you and I have talked about this, and I don't think anybody has mentioned this to me before. Can we at least give Tim Tebow some respect for the fact that he lost the ability to be a college kid?
Yeah.
He never got the ability to go to college and act like a college kid because of just the
that's a great point.
I mean, the kid couldn't walk out of his dorm room without it being a story.
Well, that's I mean, that's not just him, but I feel like
it took away a little bit of what, you know, the normal life experience that I think a lot of us appreciated.
Yeah, I get where you're going from, because you got like a guy like who's like Baker, right, or Kyler. They had the spotlight on them, but they still acted like a kid.
Yeah, they still had their college.
Yeah, I mean, they did dumb stuff.
Right? They did their dumb stuff. They checked boxes and got
acted
to at
like
least
fools.
Right, and then got to at least grow up and be adults and look back and say, "This is my maturity and how I've gone from here to here."
Tebow had to be 30.
Had to be 30
18.
when he was Yes, and look, I'll give
this
all
video
that.
is ridiculous.
It's so dumb. It's so ridiculous. And again, the fact that this guy is trying to tear down somebody, look, you're telling me something I already knew. And then I don't even know who you are.
Well, yeah, that one. But so the snitch part, I'm like, he would yell to have the. I don't know where we're going with this. I feel like there was a lot left on the table. Again, it's only a clip, but this was a clip that decided to share. We got some pretty hefty views on it. I haven't heard much about it since I've seen it.
Look, there's more to it, but there's still not a single example of a time that he refers to as
like, hey, there was a situation where this. Like, and I guess he's saying like, hey, like he was so locked in, like he was so dialed in all the time that if we went and screwed around, he would be like, hey, these guys are doing this, because he's so dialed in on winning.
That can't be possible.
That he did that or didn't? I mean, because that was Aaron Hernandez. Yeah, I'm like, dude, did you see that team? If
he would have, trust me, if that was the case, Aaron Hernandez wouldn't have killed people in games.
Or Urban just turned his head. Either way, I don't.
Well, thanks, Tim. I appreciate the info. But have you seen this man perform on the field?
Tebow,
I don't care.
But it reminded me of a clip from the Bulls documentary with Michael Jordan, and he kind of gets emotional talk about it. He goes, "I never asked anybody to do something that I wouldn't ask them to do. All I wanted to do was win and be a winner, because everyone's kind of shitting on him." Like, yeah, Jordan was an asshole. He was a dick. He would punch me in practice and things like that.
But he was. And I don't think that anybody who watched Jordan on the field, and even because Jordan had a spotlight on him as well.
Sure.
But I don't think he ever changed. I think when he was off the court, he was pretty clear. I'm a dick.
Yeah. Well,
but I'm going to hold you accountable to the level of expectation that I have.
We label it as, hey, he's a dick. Right? It's not, it's just, I mean, it's the best way to label it, because I don't have another word for it. But to me, it's like you're not, a dick is like you're trying to be actively, aggressively like
an asshole. Right.
Right?
But
we
this
just
is
flip the word.
Different.
It's just like, no, like you're built a little different. Right?
And you want everybody on your level.
Yeah. When you're just so laser focused. Like, if nothing's a game, you're dialed in all the time, and it comes off, hey, you're a dick, you're an asshole, blah, 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 blah. It's almost like a New Yorker. Right? Like, all New Yorkers are assholes. Like, no, they just don't have time for your bullshit.
Right.
They're not gonna hold the door for you and say, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? It's not that they don't care about you. It's not that they think anything less of you.
That's why they have revolving doors everywhere in New York, because no one's holding the door.
Worry about
just
you.
Go.
Yeah, it's all, and honestly, to be frank, most of it that the Southerners say, oh, we're polite, it's all a bunch of bullshit. You're just fake to my face.
Right.
It's not genuine at all.
I'd rather
the New Yorker just be themselves.
Well, hold on, but they can be dicks because they're just completely like self-centered, and all they care about is just exactly what's happening for them at that second.
Sure.
Different than Jordan wanting to elevate a basketball team.
Exactly.
It's a little bit different.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
You see,
he wasn't completely just ignore everybody.
Right.
He's gonna make you better. You may not like the
self-centered.
Like the method he has. Yeah.
Right.
And to be frank, I mean, think about the good guys, right? Like, are they winners?
Probably not.
I mean, Tebow, I guess, is one of them.
Yeah, but he was a good guy.
Yeah, but
he was probably that's what I'm talking about. On the football field.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he had the dick.
And that's what this guy's saying. I think. Look, and I don't agree with him, but I think that's what he's saying is he was a dick on the football field.
Like he was like it was a lot.
Right.
He wasn't going to use the word dick, because the word dick and Tebow do not go hand in hand.
Well, I mean,
but he's
I don't know what he
obviously
does on his off time.
Yeah,
but
he's obviously a great dude. I mean,
yes, but I think that's what he's saying is the contrast between the crazy person he was on the football field versus the just dialed down, laid back, square of who he was off the field was such a contrast. But I don't think I wasn't on that football team. Clearly, you weren't on that.
No, we were
team,
not.
But I could tell you that that's how that was. He was a wild man on the football field. You could see his halftime interviews. He's got a plaque on the wall about a post-game speech when they lost, right? So he was clearly dialed in, and he was a dick on the football field. But then when he was off, he was like, "Yeah, where's my Bible?"
I think it raises the question too: is that can you be both parties, right? Can you be the?
It's tough, right?
Yeah. What am I trying to think of is, I don't know, where you can balance that. I'm gonna go have fun and party, but then come and turn it back on and be a killer, and be a dominant player.
Yeah.
You can be a winner. You can be a champion. I think in party, right? Because on team sports, you've got even Tom. I mean, he's the GOAT, right? I mean, up until the last year when he went to Tampa, guy was a dick.
He was a dick.
A dick.
Do you remember him walking around with his hand up, like trying to get high fives?
Bro,
I think that was a little bit staged.
A little bit of a joke, yeah, but still, like, he didn't have any friends.
No, I think people were pretty clear about the fact that we don't like that guy.
Yeah, him and Belichick, they got along because and even those two didn't get along.
No.
I think Edelman got along with the two of them because he realized, he goes, look, I know what they're doing.
Who was their offensive coordinator? He went to Denver. He actually drafted Tebow.
Did he go to? No, that was a defensive coordinator.
No, it was an offensive coordinator, and then he came back. And then he came back to New England.
Okay, the defensive coordinator went to the Lions. I can't think of the name. It's
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He left. He went to Denver. He drafted Tebow. They went to the playoffs. It didn't work out for him there, but he came back to New England, and he was like, open arms. I think there's where your real, like, your solvent is, between an aggressive Brady and an aggressive Belichick. And this guy, I think, was really good. And it kills me that I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But I think this guy was the one who was really the one who was able to kind of...
Daniel?
Yeah, maybe.
I think so.
Gosh,
we can Google it, but we're wasting time.
Then we just look like we don't know what the hell we're talking about. I'd rather just say we don't know what we're talking about.
But yeah, so again, it's a great question. Is can you be the fun party guy and also be an absolute killer? I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody off the top of my head who has that. I don't.
Yeah, I don't. We'll kick it around off cast and maybe come back
to it. Yeah, because off the top of my head, I kind of raised the question now, but I don't think of anybody.
I can't think of anybody that's that contrast. Like, hey, everybody loves him and everybody hates him all at the same time.
Yeah, there isn't one. Moving on.
You ready to go to Milwaukee?
We're here tonight.
We are.
Game 3. Listen, Suns in 4.
It's looking that way.
But we talked about this a couple days ago. I think it's gonna be Suns in 5. This is Chris Paul's first championship. I don't see. I mean, do they throw a game? I don't know, but I think Milwaukee has it in them because Chris Middleton hasn't been playing well. Neither has Drew Holiday. Giannis, as you mentioned earlier in the precast, is the Jansport right now. He's doing a great job, even with his injury. So I see these guys locking it in for one game and getting the game in Milwaukee.
At home with the crowd. Yeah, I could see that.
They're going to get a game. So I truly feel Suns in 5. I really think they're going to come home. I think they're going to steal one. If they win tonight, though, hell, I don't know. It might be Suns in 4.
That's what I'm saying.
They might just say, screw it. We're taking it as we can get it, and we're out of here.
We'll hold a trophy in Milwaukee if we have to, if you're the Suns.
We'll party when we get back. No big deal. Yeah. I would love to see Suns in 4 just to really, because that guy, could you imagine?
Going back to the BDE of Suns in 4, this guy is prophetic.
Suns in 4, dude, and they win it all, and they go all the way and win in 4, you're done. You're set, bro.
I mean, we'll put him up here as part of the BDE cast.
The BDE Hall of Fame.
BDE Hall of Fame. He'll be on the wall at some point.
Yeah, that would be crazy. But I'm excited to see Chris Paul. So Chris Paul is one of those guys we were just talking about,
right? Who's
a great guy. People really don't hate Chris Paul. He's the president of the players. I mean, he's the people's champ in a sense from the NBA perspective. I mean, there isn't nobody's ever said a bad word about him. The guy's been tossed around like a used water bottle, right? Like nobody wants him, and it's weird. He's a phenomenal basketball player. He goes to Houston, him and James can't get along.
Because they always think he's the number 2. I think everywhere he's gone, and I could be wrong on this because I know some of the B.D.E family that listens.
He was the number 1 when he played for the Pelicans, and then he went to.
But there was no supporting cast around him at that
Correct.
time, right? Okay,
Correct.
so one guy can't do it all there.
And then he got traded to Houston, where you had 2 people trying. Well, Chris Paul was established. Harden's trying to be the number 1 guy.
Yeah,
that doesn't work. Then he goes to OKC.
Where you had Durant at the time?
No, Durant wasn't there. I think it was just him. It may have been Westbrook, but I think it was just him.
It was Westbrook, yeah. That's who I was thinking of.
Oh, he was with the Clippers. He's with the Clippers for a good stint. That team should have won.
I agree. That was a great team.
That team blows my mind that team didn't win. And then he goes, now he's in Phoenix with the perfect young surrounding cast.
My goodness. Look, I've been honest about my lack of NBA basketball knowledge.
Sure.
But I've been watching the finals. It's been exciting. It's been something that's gotten me watching it.
It's crazy, yeah.
And some of the things that I'm watching the Suns do, just from an offensive standpoint, like 17 passes before a shot.
So they remind me a lot
but
of.
it's not like you left. It's not like the Virginia Cavaliers who would work the clock down to like 1 second before their shot. Like there's 17 passes and there's 15 seconds left on the shot clock.
It's quick, yeah.
It's just.
It reminds me honestly of like the Spurs. Like it's just great team basketball. Yeah. Those guys were dominant for so long because they never had an ego on those teams.
Not a single
until
one.
Kawhi got there, and then that kind of
broke it up.
Yeah, but prior to that, there was no egos. It was all team. And that takes down a superstar team any day of the week. And I think this team has a pretty big future ahead of them. It reminds me a little bit of the Golden State dynasty. Like there's some glint there.
I can see.
Because of how good the team is and how young they are.
Right.
Nobody's going anywhere.
No.
I don't know what Chris Paul's situation is, but Booker's not going anywhere.
No. And then Chris Paul, this is what he's been looking for.
Yeah, he's got the pay. He's got the money. What else? I mean, he's here for rings now. So I don't know.
He could win. Obviously, I think he's got a great shot of winning this one. But then they set themselves up very well.
I wouldn't be surprised if he retired
after this one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You won one and done, huh?
Yeah.
One ring and done.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Because everyone's gonna get much better next year. I mean, you did it, right? Like, you've got 3 or 4 years left, maybe. So either walk away as a champion, or fizzle out for the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, you don't ever want to walk away with your legacy tarnished a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like you built the perfect love story for basketball. Yeah. Like you've 16 NBA seasons, everyone's always cheered for you, everyone's always wanted it for you, everyone's going for him. Like,
and then you got it.
Yeah, it's like it sucks because like I would love to see Giannis and the Bucks win it because again it's another great story, but it's like, dude, it's Chris Paul.
It's Chris Paul.
Like I've grown up with this guy.
Yeah, the kid deserves one. I'm saying the kid, but I mean he's probably
because that's who you think of as the young Chris Paul who's been hooping the whole time.
Right, and he's been there the whole time.
And I'm State Farm's my insurance, so obviously.
Well, dude, there's 2 Chris Pauls or 3,
Sons and 4
potentially. Yeah.
It's gonna be exciting. I'm happy to see how this is gonna play out, but I hope Chris has got it. I think they have it in the bag. I think it's either 4 or 5. So too.
Yeah,
and I think the Bucks steal a game. They're not that bad.
No, they're not. They're not horrible. And look, if Giannis continues on his pace, he's scoring averaging somewhere around 35 a game, if not maybe more.
For the first 2, yeah.
Yeah, for the first 2, and that's away. So look. I mean,
at
if
home,
you get a home, and so maybe the guy puts up 80. I don't know.
If he puts up 35 again, but Middleton and Drew Holiday got to lock it in.
They have to do something.
They got to clock in. Yeah. But next year, they're going to have a full off season, which they didn't have this year. Kevin Durant, Harden, and Kyrie will all be healthy. There's just a lot more variables next year. LeBron's going to make some moves. Damian Lillard's going to go somewhere. So there's a lot of things that are going to happen next year that I think that's where I'm like, hey, if you're Chris Paul.
Yeah, maybe this is your pinnacle.
Yeah,
It's tough to be. It's tough to be at the top.
For long.
Right. Well, then it's tough to be at the top and know that you're at the top, and not and then wonder like what's tomorrow. Is it one step down? Is it? Do I continue?
Yeah, it goes to that whole metaphor, right? Like when you get to the top of the mountain, what lies on the other side is a slippery downhill slope.
But the view's great.
Once you're there, it's beautiful.
Throw that ring
but the air is thin, and it's hard to stay up there for very long.
Yeah.
So
good way to put it.
Go up there, enjoy the view, and get your ass back down.
Get your ass back down here.
But you choose.
But they say that's the hardest part. Getting up to the top is difficult, but coming back down from it is
harder. Yeah,
way harder.
because you're not excited to go down to the bottom.
Right. Nobody's excited to come down.
Just take a helicopter and get the hell off that thing.
Get the hell off that thing.
Retire. Listen, guys, a great show.
Amazing.
I'm still pissed. I'm gonna go cry my sorrows.
I'm gonna go watch the fight again.
Fuck you, Hawley.
Look, 2-2, baby. Scoreboard.
Oh my gosh.
Scoreboard. It was a horrible way for the fight to end.
Listen, take W to W. Take it.
I'll take it.
Congratulations to you. But screw you. Anyways, be back here next week for another BDE.
Always.
Keep that BDE flowing.
Keep it flowing, baby. Hit that like. Pound the thumbs up.
Smash the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already.
Hit it. Like, it helps us out a ton. It lets us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong.
Exactly. Leave comments.
Shit
on us. Whatever you need to
do.
Also say good job. We like good jobs too.
Yeah, that's okay. Bouquets and brickbats. But look, tell us about ourselves. We're all about it.
We're here for it. I'm Sheldon.
And I'm Hawley.
Boogity boogity.
Let's go.
Hey.